Welcome back on the next submodule 1.2, and that is here we will discuss about the multiplexing MAC SDU into the transport block. Let's move on. Okay, so what does it mean by multiplexing? Again, keep in mind whenever we see any statement, keep focus on the keywords first, then try to elaborate it. It will make the life very easy to understand any concept. That is how I use this technique to understand myself as well as to explain my student. So when we talk about the multiplexing MAC SDU onto the transport block, there are two keywords here. One keyword is multiplexing. Second keyword is transport block. So let's try to understand what does it mean by the multiplexing. So in the layman language, multiplexing mugs means many to one. Many to one. This works on the TX side, transmitter side. Same way, reverse process triggers on the receiver end. So there is a demugs, demultiplexing. It means one to many, one to many. And this triggers on the receiver side, RX side. So TX transmitter, RX receiver. So now we understand what does it mean by the multiplexing in the layman language. We'll discuss in the technical terms. MAC SDU. What does it mean by the SDU? SDU is the original data. Okay, so how we can understand it? So let's say here we are talking about the MAC layer. Here we are talking about the MAC layer. Now top of the MAC there is the RLC. So any data which is coming from the upper layer, RLC layer, when it's entered, this is the entry point of the MAC. So this data for the MAC will be called as the MAC SDU. MAC SDU. So this is MAC SDU. Now there is another terminology you must have heard that we call as PDU. So what does it mean? It means that when we add the header here, in the MAC SDU, it becomes your MAC PDU. MAC PDU. Right? So there is an entry point is SDU. After the header added, it becomes PDU, which further process. Okay. So we understand MAC SDU as well. Now the transport block, which we have already discussed it. Transport blocks is responsible for how the data is going to be transmitted. How? Okay. So let's see. Multiplexing MAC SDU onto transport block, how it will be triggered. So exactly MAC layer what this does, MAC combines the SDU from the multiple logical channel. What is the work of the logical channel? Logical channel is responsible for what need to be transmitted, whether it's a signaling information or the actual data. So it combines the SDU from the multiple logical channel into one transport block. What does it mean by one transport block? So it means where the TB is constructed, on the MAC itself, right? So it combines all SDU and then combined into the one TB. That's what I call mux, means many to one. Many SDU onto one TB. And then once it's converted into a single TB, then it's pushes to the or on the L1 layer. That is my physical layer. Okay. And then further on the L1 layer, there are multiple processes are happening. Like we have the all the packet which is coming on the L1 layer is finally mapped with the physical resource block, right? Then we have the modulation, then we have the demodulation, right? So these activity triggers on the L1 layer, then it passes on the air interface finally, air interface. Okay, so once the multiplexing is done, right, then what happens? So let's try to understand with the channel that how multiplexing triggers into the one TB. Okay, so logical channel, when we talk, right, we have the data traffic channel, which carry the user data, and then we have the dedicated control channel which is responsible for carrying the control signaling. So now at this point we have control signaling, we have the user data as well, and that is basically who carry it? Logical channel, because logical channel is responsible for what need to be transmitted. So here transmitted is what? Signaling and the user data. Okay, now what happened? Mac multiplexes SDU from both the channel. Both the channel means dedicated control channel and dedicated traffic channel into one TB, one transport block on the uplink shared channel, into the uplink shared channel. Okay, once this is done, what does it mean? It means that now the single TB, the one transport block, carry both your the traffic data, the actual data. It could be video data, it could be other data, but at the same time it also carry the measurement report, or we can say that signaling data, right? So this is how the MAC layer responsible for multiplexing MAC SDU onto the 1 TB channel. 1 TB, that is one transport block. Thank you. See you in the next submodule.